let's touch down with this conversation.
Ah,
Time to kick it off.
it is. That's good. Are those the only football words you know, Liv?
Um, let's see. Safety.
Safety. Yeah, that's true. It applies in other contexts. But welcome back to my first rodeo. So glad to have you guys here. The show that asks really interesting people, and today's no exception, to tell us about their first rodeo, the first time they did the thing that they came to be known for. That's really exciting in their life, so that we can sort of get a backstory and figure out what's so bad, if anything, about the first rodeo, right?
Yeah.
So you don't know much about football. You're gonna have
I
very
actually I don't know much about it, but I go to all the games in college,
right,
every game, and my husband is a huge fantasy footballer.
right.
So we watch every team. So I know what teams I like, I know what players I like, I know their tendencies, but I don't know anything about the
Like
game.
football tendencies, or like
Yeah,
who they tend to date and
Uh,
what music
yeah,
they
pretty
like.
much. I know who their wives are, and I like to watch the teams that have more attractive players,
Oh, I see.
like
Oh,
Travis Kelsey.
that's a great tip. Now they're wearing helmets most of the time, so you have to go research them to figure out.
Oh, you know what else is really funny about football? It's my favorite thing.
Yeah,
When you're watching TV, they show their faces and they'll be like Auburn University or
right.
Georgia State. Like they
Yeah.
share where they're from, but then somebody does a voiceover and
Ah.
will be like, "I'll take a pumpkin spice latte," or
I haven't seen
they
that.
take their voice and replace it with another voice, or they'll do it on the sideline and it will be like Tom Brady, like, "You gotta go, you have to pee," or something. Like it's just
Right.
random stuff, but it's so funny.
That
That's
is
what I
funny.
enjoy about football is the voiceovers.
That's important. That's an important part of football. You ever notice that sometimes people will say their high school and not their college?
Yeah,
Um,
why is that? Or they'll say a random thing.
Usually, my sense, and I'm aware of a few examples where they had a falling out with their college.
Is that when
Maybe
they say Hard Knocks University?
I've never heard them say Hard Knocks University.
Really?
You see, those guys aren't
Just
real.
SNL? Okay.
Yeah, no, but sometimes they do say their high school or whatever else they want to give credit. But yeah, we're gonna have some fun with our guest today. But what you been up to? What's going on?
Not much, just working a lot. It's been cold outside.
Yeah.
Weston update started cleaning the pool.
Oh, okay, in the Speedo or no Speedo?
No Speedo.
Did you talk to your dad about the ring camera that he has? Because that's really troubled me since
Are
we
we
talked
back
about
on this ring camera?
I
The
think
ring
it's
camera, our Wi-Fi's been off in our neighborhood, but
Yeah.
no, I don't know. That's
Yeah.
a topic for another day.
well, I don't know. It's an interesting one now.
Weston's in the other room shaking his head at
I
us. My
think-
husband is here
Yeah.
tonight.
It's true. We'll get
Yeah,
some dinner afterwards. It'd be nice to talk to him. We'll talk about wearing
definitely.
Speedos.
So I had a late night thought.
Okay.
Okay, and Mike is pretty.
Thank
What's the
you. I think you're
word?
pretty too.
You know all the people in the city.
Okay.
So here, I have a pitch to you that
All
I
right.
want you to bring.
I'm ready.
What if we did instead of the L or Subway here in Jacksonville, because
Mhm.
it's getting so populated by all these Northerners?
Right.
What if we did a ski lift?
A ski lift, like
Like-
what do you call those things? A funicular or something?
A gondola?
A gondola.
Or just, I don't know, a ski lift?
Okay.
In Colorado, they go for miles, so why can't we do a ski lift? And I already have the path I want.
You know they tend to go up, and we
I-
don't have a lot of up in Florida.
What do you mean? They
They-
did it at Disney World.
You're just talking about something that hovers along the ground and takes you from
They-
a resort to another resort.
Gondola at Disney
I
World.
think it's
I
gondola.
want it from Julington Creek
Right?
all down San Jose to downtown.
How long do you think that would take? You ever been on a gondola before?
They go pretty fast, 25 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's pretty slow. And I don't think they go that fast.
Well, I think that would be a great addition to the
I
city.
like it. Yeah, it never gets that cold. We would be known for something. They're probably cheaper than other forms of rail service and
So
so
I've
forth.
been really You that thought.
You have a name for it or anything?
The Jack's lift.
The Jack's Lift.
But then other cities could buy it from us.
I just feel like it would become a punchline to a joke. I'm sure there'd be some way we'd screw it up. People would fall off of it. Drunk people. It just it needs to be researched. I like it. I like your thinking.
That was my
Seems a
other,
little selfish that you're putting it from your house to downtown. But,
yeah, it's from my house to just downtown,
Mhm.
just to my work.
Okay,
That's what I'm.
that's a good thought. And you've been thinking about that later. Now you charting it out, grafting it. You got
Yeah, I was thinking about how it would cross the river.
Huh. Well, that shouldn't be hard. You just put a post on one side of the river and a post. Now, that's actually not a bad idea. Forget about getting places. Just getting across the river on a gondola,
Hmm.
that would make sense. You just
Hmm.
have a big circular thing.
Hmm.
I like it. It's
I
good
like it
thinking.
too.
All right. I know our listeners always like to know what you're watching on TV. What you
Okay.
watching?
I've been watching on HBO Max The
Mm-hmm.
Righteous Gemstones.
Righteous
It's
Gemstones.
so funny. Have you seen it? Tony's shaking his head.
Not
It's
familiar.
hilarious. It's about like a mega church and this family that runs it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say it's considered fiction,
Right.
but it should really be considered nonfiction because it may or may not happen in the real mega church world. But it is just so funny. Shout
Mm.
out to Judy. If you ever listen to the show, Judy, I don't know your real name,
Uh-huh.
but I love you, Judy.
She's great.
She's just so funny.
We need to get her on the
She's
show.
hilarious. Oh gosh, I would love to have Judy on
Mm.
the show.
Okay. Righteous Gemstones is your
Yes.
recommendation.
And then
You
I've
give it.
also been watching, it sounds like a really bad title,
Uh-huh.
but it's a really good show, The Sex Lives of College Girls. It
Okay.
sounds so gross, but it's really good.
And it's I saw that, and I didn't see the show, but I thought it was like the old Girls Gone Wild thing. It's
No,
act.
it's good. It's
fiction.
good. It's good. And then my least favorite show right now, which I started to watch, but I can't watch because I think it should be taken off
What's your
TV.
least favorite? So you probably wouldn't want to watch it again.
Euphoria.
Okay, that's
I-
another sex show, right?
Yes, I started watching it because everyone raves about it and it's winning awards, and I was just kind of like, oh, this is.
What don't you like about it?
I feel like teenagers are gonna emulate what they do on that show.
Mm.
And what they do, I don't know what the crap high school these kids go to, but that never happened at my high school or
Right.
any of the public schools around me. It's disgusting, honestly.
Mm.
And like I was telling Weston, my husband, I was like, if you ever want to know if somebody's like into like children,
Right.
make them watch the show and watch them because you'll know in like 2 minutes. It's literally disgusting.
Yeah, no adult should be watching that. But the sex lives of college girls.
Yeah,
students?
that's like a good
That's
intermediary
okay.
show.
You're all
You
right
could
with
watch
that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll check it
Yeah.
out. Well, we're gonna take a huge right turn here and get to our guest.
Yeah. We're gonna take an interception.
And oh, that's good. You're
My
good.
first rodeo. My first rodeo.
We are gonna kick it off with Mike's guest.
Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah, actually, we do have a football themed guest, one of my favorite people in the world. It is the amazing Johnny Rembert. Johnny is an incredible guy, truly. And not only a New England Patriot great, but if you go back in his career, he holds some records as a middle linebacker for the Clemson football team. He was a JUCO transfer, junior college transfer to Clemson, went on to be the athletic director of the oldest historically black college in the South, Edward Waters now University. Gosh, he's been an executive with the Police Athletic League. He's done a ton of things, and he's a great guy. So welcome to the show, Johnny Rembert.
Mike, thank you so much, man. I tell you, I don't know how much you're charging me for that, but I really appreciate it. No, but thanks. I'm glad to be here, and I'm excited, for you kicking off your podcast and kicking off again, right?
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go. I got to
Yeah.
work
It's a good
kickoff
deal.
into it as well. I
Yeah.
tell you, when we contemplated this show, you were one of the people I was thinking of, not just because you're one of the coolest people I know, but you and I have been talking for 20 years, and I know some of your first. That the premise of the show is your first rodeo. So, what's the first time you did this? The first time you did that? I'd love to get started by talking about your first day in training camp, because a lot of our listeners might be thinking about hard knocks and sort of how football is nowadays. When you started, you're a little bit older than some of the guys right now. Tell us about your first day in the NFL.
Yeah, a little lot older than some of these guys are right now. But wow, you going way back there. Taking it back to my first days in the NFL, it was exciting. It was exciting, first of all, to be drafted. And, I got drafted in the 4th round, the 167th player pick, something like that. I'm not sure.
Come on, you
But,
remember. What are you talking
I
about?
don't quite remember.
Probably have like 167 on your bedroom wall still, don't you?
Everybody else knows it, but I don't.
Okay.
So
So is it like a big party like it was today back then, where everyone sits in a room and it's like dun 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 and the bell rings?
Well, no, it wasn't like that back
Oh.
then. You have to remember.
They didn't have TV when Johnny.
Well, they had just started televising the draft
Oh, I
on
wasn't-
ESPN a year before,
Mhm.
and back then there were 12 rounds. There's only 7 rounds now.
Mm.
And
So
for our listeners, what year are we talking about?
we're talking about 1983.
Okay.
And, and we did, we were at our dorm. I was still in school, and everybody was waiting for the draft. We had some guys that we knew that was going to go first round. We had guys like Perry Tuttle, got drafted first round, went to Buffalo. Terry Kennard was another first round pick for the Giants. And we had several more guys get drafted. So we had a
Wow.
lot of players. So, it's strange because you talk to these teams before
Right.
hand and try to get to know them. They're trying to get to know you. So you're talking and talking. You never know who's going to call you. But I'm going to stress this out a little further. The day we got drafted, I got drafted with the New England Patriots. To be honest with you, I had no idea what state the Patriots were in.
Aren't they in New England? Is that not a
Yeah.
state?
I
It was
had
such a good first team. Like people would kill to get.
Well,
on the
yeah,
Patriots.
not after you've been told that I'm going to draft you by the head coach and general manager of the Los Angeles Rams. So I had my mind
So
set.
you were set on LA.
I was set on
and then
LA.
you got sent to like the Arctic.
New
Yes,
England.
exactly.
So do you lean over to somebody and be like, where exactly is,
Well,
what state do they play in New England?
true story. When I told my mom I got drafted by New England Patriots, she felt bad because she said I'm not traveling across the water to see you play football.
Or sitting in the cold.
Yeah,
watching
she thought I
it.
was
She thought he was going to England.
to play football. And,
Yeah.
I said, no, Mom, it's northeast of the United States. It's up there in Maine,
Something like that.
Massachusetts, something like that. So anyway, we figured that out. But,
That's funny.
it was exciting being drafted and, going up there to New England. It's a different story. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But, I was excited. I was really excited. I had read nothing or heard nothing from the Patriots. And when the gentleman called me, the director of player personnel, his name was Dick Steinberg. He said, Johnny, the phone rang. We had the phones in our dorm room. We didn't have cell phones.
Mhm.
So you had to stand by your room. You hear the phone ring.
Was it like in the hallway or actually in
It was
your
in the
dorm?
room.
All right.
Yeah,
You were at
we
Clemson,
had-
that was big time.
Well, yeah, it was big time. We had a phone in our room. So, I get a call right after Mike Wiltshire was picked by the Rams. So I was like, oh, wow. They said they were going to pick Mike and pick me next.
Was he a middle linebacker as well?
He was outside, and I
Okay.
was inside.
Okay.
And we played against each other in college. He
Yeah.
was from North Carolina, University of North Carolina, Tar Heels. So I said, okay, they're going to call me. So John Robinson, who's the head coach, called me and said, hey, we just drafted Mike. I said, I saw it. Be by the phone. We want to do an interview. So I hung the phone. I said, okay, hung the phone up. As soon as I hung the phone up, it rang again. I don't know if you remember back in the days, you get that back ring when you hang
Oh,
up the
yeah,
phone.
yeah.
And that's what I thought it was. I just picked it up and said, hello. And somebody on the other line said, hi, Johnny. This is Dick Steinberg, general manager for the New England Patriots. We have just drafted you in the 4th round. How are you feeling? And, what you got to say?
Uh-oh.
I was locked. And I could remember him saying, are you there? I said, yes, sir, I'm here. I'm excited, being drafted by you guys. Can't wait to meet everybody. So
Where are you again, by the way?
what state is that team in?
What country?
Yeah,
Send you
so
out.
it was different. It was very different.
Mhm.
And, as you said, Tampa Bay had talked to me. The Rams had talked to me.
Mhm.
San Francisco. A lot of these teams had talked to me.
Because
so.
the Jags weren't even a team then,
No.
right?
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
No,
I know
actually,
that.
They had a bunch of teams winning
Interesting
teams.
thing you said that. There was the USFL had just started.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of the guys were going USFL because they were paying more money.
It was the old United States
The
Football
United
League.
States Football League, as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, did they have a team in Jacksonville?
I think they did.
They had the Jacksonville Bulls.
I think you're
or
Generals.
something.
Was it Generals?
I'm not sure.
Our long history
Well,
of Generals
yeah,
in
so-
Northeast Florida.
A lot of the guys, the big name guys who were coming out, Herschel Walker, Jim Kelly, Doug Flutie, a lot of those guys went for the money instead of going to the NFL. So it became a little rival. That's when the NFL, they started giving guys a little bit more money. Because, back before me and when I was playing, guys had a second job after the season.
So do you hear the salaries now and you're like, your mouth
Well,
drops?
it does, and also I'm glad for those guys because we fought for that. Now, it kind of disturbs me when I see a kicker salary a kicker make 1 year more than I made my whole career.
Yeah.
And all he's doing is kicking the ball.
Right.
So, but anyway, it's totally different. Yes, absolutely. I remember the day they announced. It was after we came in the same year. John Elway, who decided that if the Colts drafted him, he would decide to go play professional baseball instead. So Colts had the first pick that year, and it was a big deal. So they ended up giving the trade to the Broncos. He went to the Broncos, but after he finished his first contract, he was scheduled to get $1 million a year. So everybody was like, "Oh my God, he's getting $1 million a year just to
Wow.
play football." So that's after that things
That was the
started to
first.
take
He
off.
was the first
He was
millionaire.
the first, yes.
Oh,
Yep.
interesting.
He was the first quarterback in the NFL. Yep.
So I know. Obviously, we associate football with being healthy, and a little different for big guys, different type of health.
Mhm.
But everybody takes all the right things, eats all the right things. There's all this testing and so forth. Talk about you show up and you see guys maybe not making the healthiest choices in the world,
Mhm.
as I recall,
Oh yes.
with coaches as well. You were
Yeah,
telling.
coaches as well. Yeah. Um, Before the Jaguars was in Jacksonville, we have an organization called the NFL Players Association where we meet monthly, and talk about all the things that's available for former players. Each year there was something different. Each month they were bringing up something different. And I used to go to Orlando because they had meetings in Orlando, Tampa, and Miami. So after several trips, I get a call from the NFLPA saying, "Johnny, you should start a chapter in Jacksonville. There's a lot of former players in that area. And your territory is from Tallahassee to Daytona." I was like, "Wow, okay. Are you guys going to send someone to help me?" Yes, they did.
Mm.
Matter of fact, the gentleman who was the president of the Orlando chapter, Mike McBath, who
Yeah.
I played against. He played with Buffalo years before me, but I caught him on the end of his career. He came down to help us get it started. And as far as all the paperwork, we had to have all that done as well, the 501c3. Guess who did that for us? Our host,
Oh,
Mike
man.
Freed.
Wow,
Yeah,
Mike.
he was he was there to make sure we had everything in order. We had everything right to present. So we started out with about 6 guys, me, Dave Wydell,
I
and a few
remember.
more guys, and that was back in '97, I
A
believe.
few hangers on as well. Remember
Yeah,
some of those
yeah, a
guys?
few hangers on,
You're proud
Dexter
of
Carter.
Dexter Carter, that's right, that's correct. And we started out, but now, as far as members, there's well over 200 members who are part of the NFLPA chapter in Jacksonville. So,
Then
yeah.
you moved up to New England.
Well, yeah, when I moved up there, wow, it was it was almost like a cultural shock to me. And when I remember flying into Logan in Boston, coming out the tunnel back then, this was before they fixed everything. I was like, wow, this city, this is wow. And we started driving. So, okay. And we kept driving away from the city. And I'm like, okay. So we drive to the stadium, which is in the middle of nowhere. Foxborough Stadium. It's in Foxborough, Massachusetts.
It's still there.
Still there, yeah, but it looks totally different. I know, like a city right now since Robert Kraft bought the team. But I will tell you, when we went to that place, my first time going there, I'm like, do I want to do this? That's I'm serious. I said,
Yeah,
should I just go back to Clemson? It was a shock because we were located between the two cities, one in Rhode Island, which is Providence, Rhode Island, and Boston. So we were like in between.
Right.
And matter of fact, when we flew out the games, we used TF Green in Rhode Island in Providence to fly out because it was easier for us. But and then once you get there, you start meeting all the other players who were drafted. Some guys you already know because you met them at the combines, and some guys you don't know. You get to
Talk
know
about your first drills. I know you attribute your longevity because you were in the NFL, for over 10 years, right?
Yes,
Which is a long career. Average NFL career is like less than 3 years.
3.5
Johnny was in
years.
10
yeah.
years. So there was one experience I've heard you tell before that in doing some of those head-to-head drills, there's a guy who you give a lot of credit to.
Yeah. Oh wow. some of those head drills that we used to do. Yeah, it was when I played the game, even before I played the game was very, very physical, very dangerous, and kind of like anything goes until they blow the whistle, until they break you up for fighting. And
What's the guy's name? The one that was just a crazy man, didn't talk to anybody, but he did your first head-to-head drill,
yeah.
and just you know, you know, what I'm thinking of.
My first head to head drill.
Well, your first drill.
You talking about John? You know I talking about John Hanna.
Yes, exactly. That's what
I
I'm talking
knew
about.
I was getting to that.
All right, sorry, I did. I was letting you get. I know you've had a lot of head
No,
injuries, so I
yeah.
just wanted to help you out a little
So
bit.
okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
So we go to practice training camp, which is at Bryan College, which is in Smithfield, Rhode Island, about 15, 20 minutes from Providence. That's where we had camp at. And back then, camp was 6 weeks. I mean, and I tell people this, they don't believe. So we went full past 3 a days. We did 907s in the morning. We did the kicking routines in the afternoon, and then we did live scrimmages in the evening. And it was very hard and very difficult. But so as a rookie, I'm going up against first team offense, and the person I look across from me is probably one of the best guards, offensive lineman guards who ever played the game, John Hanna, who's in the Hall of Fame right now. And I never forget, first play, man, he's like, bam, he just laid into me. And I'm like, we're just practicing, and this guy is playing it like a game. So second time he did it again, I was like, okay. And this is what I told you, Mike. I said, okay, either he's going to beat me up and run me out of here, or I need to stand up, as a man and let him know that I can play this game too. So I don't know what we call the next play in the defense. The only thing I was going to do is get 4 yards and get a head start run and just go to level John out. And I did that. And he got up and he looked at me like this. He stared at me. And then he went in the huddle. And John didn't talk to nobody. And so, I never forget we had a reunion when they opened a new stadium. And I was talking to John. I said, John, I just want to thank you. He talked to everybody after he retired, but during football, he wouldn't talk to anybody. He's like, thank me for what, Rambo? They call me Rambo.
All right.
He said, thank me for what, Rambo? I said, you don't remember this, but during training camp, man, first day, I remember you just 10 off on me, and I just took a step. He said, I remember that. You just ran full speed, and you knocked me on my, you know what? I said, yeah. He said, what? I said, if it wasn't for you, I don't think I would have played 10 years in the National Football League.
Yeah.
So you really showed me and taught me how the game is supposed to be played. You got to go full go at all times.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now I remember you telling me, I think it was during a game, you coming off the field and player or players smoking cigarettes.
Oh, yes, I did tell you that, Mike. So we playing the preseason game. Oh, it was a game. It was preseason. My first preseason game. First NFL pro stuff with everybody playing against another team. And, halftime, we coming inside. So I see one of these guys go to his locker. He grabs a cigarette and started smoking a cigarette. And I'm looking at the doors. I know the coach is coming in a minute. So I'm looking, I see this one coach, he's going directly at this guy. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh my God. I'm, thinking he's going to get on this guy. Why are you smoking? He asked the guy, hey, you got another cigarette? And I'm like, oh my God. I've seen guys drink at halftime.
Yeah.
So it was
Calming the nerves, huh?
Yeah, it was very different back then. Guys would get sick before games because of the nerves,
Right.
So I've seen a lot of that too.
I don't know, sometimes you still see them get hurt and they wobble off the field and then they come back and they're like, woohoo! And I'm like, what happened back there?
I'm gonna have to call
that's a little
BS on that
scary,
live. I've
man.
never seen a player wobble, and I've never seen a player go woohoo. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But they'll come back and they're
Yeah.
better than ever. And I'm
Right.
like, you were just hurt.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Adrenaline, right?
adrenaline, and they've given you something.
And you're like,
And
what
this-
They got some good stuff, is what
you
we're
want to
asking.
be
you.
on after the game, yes.
Yeah.
But you want to be on the field, I
Yeah.
remember playing a game in Miami, and dislocated my big toe. It was turned sideways. They took me in. I'm thinking they adjusted it back, but after that they shot a needle right up my toe, my big toe.
Mm.
Oof.
The weirdest thing ever happened to me. And you talking about pain, and all of a sudden the pain went away,
Huh.
and I'm back on the field.
Wow.
And I have problems with that toe
Still?
to this day. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
And after the game, like your toe must have been as big as
oh man,
whatever tennis
yeah,
ball.
yeah. You know, you got ice on it. You got to elevate it.
Yeah.
You know, everybody else got ice. You know, they trying to elevate themselves. So the wounded is trying to get better. It was tough.
We were talking about jitters, and I know you have some Super Bowl experience, and not just Super Bowl experience, but the Chicago Bears Super Bowl Shuffle era Super Bowl experience.
didn't-
For me, anyway, that was, I mean, some of the first Super Bowls I remember actually watching and being excited about. And in fairness, was excited about them because the Bears were just the team to
Right.
watch with Walter Payton
Yes.
and the Fridge and
Yes.
just the,
Yeah. Who I
the
played
media-
college ball with?
who's that?
The Fridge.
Did you play with the
He
Fridge?
played college ball with me. Yeah.
Yeah?
A couple of years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was he
Yeah.
like the dormitory fridge then, or he was a full size fridge?
You know, he was the dormitory at that time. But you know, speaking of the Fridge, when I remember when he first came on campus, they was talking about this player, you know, over 300 pounds. It's like 6'2" and can dunk a basketball. Nobody could believe it. We as soon as he got on campus, we took him directly to
Yeah.
the gymnasium, and he did one step and he dunked the basketball. So
Wow.
he said, you guys think that's something? Let's go to the pool." We went to the pool. He went on the high dive in the pool, Olympic sized pool, and did a
Right.
1.5.
Get out of
But we
here.
couldn't believe it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this guy, when he was playing, and I
He was-
know players have gotten bigger, but he
Mhm.
still was pretty darn big.
He was. He was big. He was young.
He was
you
getting close
know.
to 400 pounds, wasn't he, by the
At
time
the
he was
end of
playing?
his career, yes.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
they put him in as a running back. He was not a running
Right.
back.
Yeah.
But at the
yeah.
goal line, they would put him in to get an extra yard or
Yeah.
two. And I
Yeah.
guess as the middle linebacker, you were having
Yeah.
to tackle him, right?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, it didn't go too well. I can tell you that.
For him or you?
Well, for me, whoever else tried to tackle him. Yeah, when he first got in the league, you know, you hear the stories about him and the head coach Mike Dicker.
Yeah.
You know, trying to get him to lose weight. They want to keep the weight on. He can do so many different things. This guy's very athletic. You know, to be his size and everything. You know, we can line him up at tackle and throw him the football as a tight end, or we can put him in the backfield. So they found success by putting him in the backfield.
And nobody else ever tried that. I
No.
mean, nobody else had a player as big as him, I
Right.
don't think.
Yeah. With the agility, you know, that someone that big have, you know, I mean, he was amazing, especially in college. I tell you, you know, we played. I remember we played Georgia, and they were number one. They came to Clemson, and I think Herschel Walker had a terrible game. I think he fumbled twice. He didn't score. He never scored against Clemson.
He failed senatorial candidate Herschel Walker. Is that
Yes,
who you're referring
exactly.
to?
That's what I'm talking
That's
about.
what'll go down.
I was like, that name
Yeah.
sounds really familiar.
Yeah. So, yeah, and William Perry, I think he had one of the best games I ever seen because he was unbelievable.
Just an athlete, huh?
He's an athlete, yeah. And then we went on to go undefeated. So we playing in the Orange Bowl against Nebraska.
Mhm.
You know, whoever wins that game is national champions. So the whole week down there, you know, we would see those guys, and you know, Nebraska. They would talk about, you know, the type of conference we in. Oh, you guys are basketball conference. You know, we're gonna show you guys what real football is.
And nothing else to
And-
do in Nebraska. so-
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But they had a really good team. They
Oh,
ran
yeah.
the ball. They had some great athletes. They had Mike Rozier. They had Turner Gill. They had Dave Remington, who was the Outland Trophy winner at center, who William Perry beat up that whole game.
Right.
And they had Irvin Fryer was on that team.
Oh, wow.
A really good team. And you know, we shut them down. We beat them.
Wow.
And
Undefeated
you know,
season.
after they told us we didn't play anybody, after we beat them, we said we still hadn't played anybody.
Right.
You know, undefeated season, yeah, national championship.
That's outstanding.
So
Mhm.
when you were at the Patriots, I've always
Yes.
wondered this. So like, it's really cold up there,
Yes.
but then so your blood probably gets really thick, and then like let's say you have a game with the Dolphins.
Yes.
Don't you just feel like that's sort of like an unfair advantage? Like, and then like when the Dolphins go up to like New England,
Yes.
they probably are like, I can't even run.
Yes. Well, that's a good question.
Because like
And
I watched the Bills games.
yeah,
Those people are crazy.
yeah.
Like
A lot of people ask me about
they're
that.
like, oh, 3 foot of snow. They're
Yeah.
like, let's go.
So what they did during the beginning of my career and before I got there, the New England and Dolphin game was always played. Well, the first game would be played early up in New England. With the weather's good in
When it's like 40
September. No,
still.
September, yeah, it's still warm. September, October, beginning of the
Mhm.
season. But New England would always have to come to Miami in December and play a 1 o'clock game, and it's usually 80 degrees.
Mhm.
So at one point, the Patriots had lost in Miami for like 12 straight years until we beat them for the AFC Championship
Mhm.
game to go to the Super Bowl. And it was a night game. It was rain. I never forget it was raining and everything. We went down. We beat them. And it took us to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Now tell us about this guy over here, Bo Jackson. You had the opportunity. It's a picture of you dancing with him. Is that what you're doing there?
Bo Jackson. Yeah, Bo. Man, what an athlete, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Great
Bo
athlete.
knows.
Bo
Yeah.
knows, I tell you. He
What was the secret to tackling him if you ever figured it out?
leverage.
Yeah.
Yeah, leverage. Get him before he gets going.
Mm.
And we did a great job of stopping him. Rod Russ, who was our defense coordinator, he was very technical in the way he, strategized
Mm-hmm.
and very strategic when we get ready to play, different opponents. So he's done his job as far as studying them, and he would set us up in a good position to be successful. So, when you see a lot of these teams that are having success, people say, "Oh, they're great, they're great." No, you have to remember, it's more than just them. You got the coaches who are studying film each day. You got the
Mhm.
scouts, who are doing the scouting reports for the teams and everything. So there's a lot of behind the scene people who are really doing the work for us to go out there and perform. So
Right.
our job, which it is difficult, but we have to listen to our coaches and do what they say. And then usually, I would say 95% of the time they're correct. So if we make the mistake, it's on us.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's execution. How many Pro Bowls were you in?
Three Pro Bowls, but I only played in 2
Okay.
because I hurt my knee.
What do you think of them moving to flag football as a Pro Bowl?
I tell you, we talked about the money situation earlier. When I played in the Pro Bowl, the winner won. You got $10,000 if you won.
Okay. Compared to what you're making, that was
Yeah,
some
that
real money.
was good bonus. It paid you for your trip and some of the other stuff that your people you brought over and
Oh, yeah,
everything.
your
Took care of all
posse.
that. If you won, you won 10 grand. If you lost, you won 5 grand. So back then, fourth quarter, things got a little dicey.
Right.
Everybody started playing a little hard. They wanted that extra.
Yeah.
So
5 grand made a difference.
yeah. So and then you had some guys who didn't play as hard because nobody wants to get hurt in the
Yeah.
Pro Bowl, and so I kind of understood that. But that was one of the other things that I would say that I really enjoyed
Right.
going over to playing in Hawaii, for the Pro Bowl and meeting all these great players from all these teams. You're playing on the same field.
They don't have a team.
Hawaii, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But they have a field.
They have a
Showing
field,
that expertise that
Yes.
you have with football. That's right.
yeah.
I know Hawaii
You
doesn't
know,
have a
Yeah.
team.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
And
yet.
Yeah, not yet. That's
There's probably no room for them.
not yet.
Yeah,
Like
I-
Mike, not yet. You never know.
I might be able to play
Man,
over
that'd be
there.
expensive to fly all your players to Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
NFL can't afford that.
I went a couple years ago. In fact, you were there for when they were playing in Orlando.
Yes.
And
yes.
it was miserable. It was raining.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
It was cold and rainy. It was
And
terrible.
it felt about like flag football. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody was tackling
Nobody's
anybody.
tackling. It's gonna be interesting. It's more of a competitive thing. They're
Yeah.
gonna have all these different competition and these different
Right.
positions gonna compete and see who's gonna
Like
be
the
the best
baseball
and all that.
all-stars.
Exactly. Yeah.
It'll be a change though.
Yeah, it'll be a change, and yeah, they're gonna play football, be flag football, and you're gonna have a couple guys out there running around,
Take it too seriously.
Yeah, yes,
So
yes,
I have a question.
yes.
So when you back in the day were playing, there you said like anything went.
Yes.
So when you were on the field and someone did something like very like egregious to you, like
Yes.
head to head.
Those are the
or,
words
like,
you would use, right, Johnny, in the huddle? You'd be like, "He just did something egregious to
Okay,
me."
sorry. Well, like when you see players now do really bad
I-
hits, someone's like, "Why would he do that? Like he knows
Yeah.
he can't do that," and
Right.
like they judge the player. They're like,
Yeah.
"That's an illegal hit."
Right.
When someone did that to you, were you like, "Dude, like,
Yeah.
like would you cuss him out or would you like what do you do?"
Not Johnny.
Me curse
And you like
on the
use your
football
fingernails and
field.
scratch 'em out,
Rambo.
Like the first time
know,
it happened to you, because
yeah.
like it's
Johnny's a
a game, but at the
Christian.
same
Yeah.
time, like you're
Yeah.
still a human, and like
Exactly.
you want to get up and leave the field.
Yeah. Well, you
Because
know,
just for context, Liv does that when somebody cuts her off in traffic.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, she can't
She gotta
understand.
get it
I'm
back.
a safe driver. It says it on my license.
Is she gonna
It
get him
literally-
back?
I've only had 2 people follow me home.
That's
And
great.
she married one of them.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He's
Go.
over there by the
No, but things do happen, and you know, a lot of times, you know, commentators don't know, or people don't see it, but things do happen, or some things may be said, you know.
Really?
Keep in
And
mind,
you try
Johnny
to
was the
get
one
to
making
guy.
the hits. He
Like
wasn't
they-
getting
Yeah.
hit.
Like
Yeah.
they'll just tell like a your mama
Well,
joke or something. Like
You know, and it might be something from a year ago. You know,
Oh,
just to
really?
give you an example, we were playing the Dolphins, and they had 2 really good receivers, and they call them the what the twin brothers or something, Mark
Okay.
Duper, and
Super duper.
yeah, and the other guy,
The lesser duper.
But anyway, one of the guys refused to be in one of my teammates' wedding.
Yeah.
You know, they were friends, but now you know you're playing against each other. And
Right.
And we found that out, and you know we had a target on him.
I got you.
And I remember playing a game up in New England. You know, warm up. Everybody was looking at me, so somebody knew something was up. So I remember, you know, dropping back and Marino throwing my pass across the middle. I didn't even think about the ball. I didn't think about trying to intercept the ball. I saw him, and I just went straight at him, and I lit him up. They threw a flag because they said it was, you know, unsportsmanlike, but they picked the flag up.
Because you pointed out
Because
to the
the
ref that he
ball-
didn't show up at the guy's wedding, right?
so
I
this
mean,
sounds like a side hustle.
Yeah.
You could do a DraftKings, but then you could share the drama, and
Uh.
then like it would change the game.
It's true. Be a
Like, you
prop
could-
bet.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
like well, I
yeah.
know like Tom Brady and whoever went at it last weekend, and they play each other. So
You
Yeah.
mentioned interceptions.
Mhm.
I remember for a time, and maybe still, you had more interceptions for a Clemson
Yes,
middle linebacker.
for inside backer. Yeah, I did it. I don't know if it still stood.
Yeah, like
It's
6 in a
still
season or
standing.
something like
7.
that.
Yeah,
Excuse me,
I had
sir.
7, I believe. And yeah, it stood for a while. Matter of fact, when I went to New England, they talked about moving me to tight end
Oh, wow.
because you know I
You
could
had
catch
good
balls,
hands,
which
yeah.
I played in high school. I played
Okay.
tight end.
You probably played every position.
Yeah, but I was like, nah. I remember
Rather just
somebody.
hit people.
Yeah, we were playing a school from Naples, Lily, big school in Florida. We were small.
Gotta be big if your
small
name is
school.
Naples Lily.
Yeah, small school, DeSoto County.
Yeah.
They threw a pop pass to the tight end. You know,
Yeah.
that's me. As soon as I raise up, you know, I got catch pass quarterback. By the time the ball got there, safety, who
Helmet to helmet.
was about 10 pounds bigger than me,
Yeah.
man, I saw stars. That was the first time I saw stars.
Yeah.
And after that game, I told coach, I don't want to play offense anymore.
Really?
I want to do the hitting, not receiving the hit.
That's
So
smart.
you think you get hit less on defense?
Oh, yes.
You're doing the hitting. You get
You're
to
doing the
decide.
hitting. Yeah.
Nobody's gonna hit you. They block you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So on another subject, when you got traded to go to the Cubs, or not the Cubs, what are they called? The Bears?
no, he didn't go
No.
to the Bears. He
I didn't
played
get
the
traded.
Bears in the
Played
Super
against
Bowl.
them.
Oh, so you were on the Patriots the
He
whole
was on the,
time.
Yes,
the
all-
not successful team.
Yeah,
Ah.
I was on the Patriots, played in one Super Bowl,
But you
won one
played the
conference
Cubs
championship.
in the
Yeah, we
Super
played
It's
the
the
Bears.
Bears.
In the Super Bowl. The Bears.
I gotta talk to
Yeah,
Weston.
they took us out.
And he's like king of fantasy football, so I
Right.
watch it every Sunday. So I know the
Right.
player's name, but like I'm always like, oh, Kelsey, because Kelsey's really good looking.
Yeah,
So I like to watch Kelsey play.
it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
important.
very important. Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you have a question, or you mooted your question?
Well, I was gonna ask when he got traded, was he sad, but he was never traded. So
No,
clearly
they
he
didn't do
never
that
felt
much
sad.
trading back then.
Actually, a lot of people don't know this here. Whatever team drafted you, we didn't have free agency, meaning you get traded once your contract is out. So if you wanted to go to another team,
Mhm.
you had to sit out a whole season without pay.
Really?
Yes, to become a free agent.
There wasn't a lot of
So
that going on.
no, not a whole lot of that going on. Not until
Yeah.
the what, the
Players union.
'87 strike. We did a strike, and we worked out a deal
So
where
wait, you
guys
said
can be
strike.
free.
So are the NFL players union
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
still?
Yes, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. The NFL Players
Yes.
Association. Yeah,
This
yeah.
is mind
And
blowing.
it is
Yes.
interesting
I've learned so
because I was
much.
an agent for
Yeah.
a spell, and they have representatives to negotiate their individual compensation, but their contracts are standard contracts.
Yes.
And every
Wow.
player is unionized, and yeah, they set
Yes.
out. They had scabs. They had
Oh, it
replacement
was
players.
it was very, very nasty. The owners decided to bring guys who had played before
Yeah,
or wanted to play. They call them scabs,
right,
as you
right.
said, Mike.
I actually played center for a little
And they
while.
played the season with
Mm.
scabs, and us as players.
Redskins had a good season that year. We had some good scabs. I
Yeah,
say Redskins, Commanders.
the
Excuse
commander.
me.
Well, they were Redskins
They
back
were
then.
then. They were
Yeah.
Aren't they
indeed.
called the Washington football team?
No, that's a year old. Now they're the Washington Commanders.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't want to keep you too much longer. I do want
Oh,
to
no
ask
problem.
you. So you are in the is it the Ring of Honor they call it? You're basically the
Yeah,
Hall
the
of Fame for the
Patriots Ring of
Patriots,
Honor as for the All Decade team
which
for
is
the '80s.
yeah, which is I mean an honor
Yeah.
that Tom Brady does not have, right? He is not.
No, not yet. He's not, but he
Well,
will.
remains to be seen. He may or may not
Yeah,
get it, but
that's
you've got
true.
that.
Yes,
So
that was exciting. I got the call. Well, first I had a call from Andre Tippett, my
Mhm.
teammates, and then I got a call from the Kraft family. Oh, that's great. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. So, yeah, yeah. And again, when I first went there, it was a stadium, and there
Mhm.
was a horse track. The horses that you race and you sit on the buggy.
oh yeah, little cart.
Yeah, that was always there. And if you go in there now, it's a city,
It's too cold for
hotels,
me to go
You got to
restaurants.
there.
take me up for a game. I've
I
never been
will.
up there.
Yeah, similar to what Shah Khan is trying to do in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
He wants to
Mm.
build up around the stadium
Yeah.
with hotels and restaurants and shops so that it can bring people there.
So people like live now around the
People
stadium.
live around the
Like,
stadium. People go there to shop. They go there to have dinner. They go there to look at the museum, the Hall of Fame Museum, which Robert Kraft has done an outstanding job.
so does that stadium now have a roof or is it still outdoor?
It's still outdoors. Yes. And well, we didn't even get to talk about the surface I played on.
They
So,
should roof it.
well, some teams you would think that you think is Buffalo's getting ready to build a new stadium.
Those are a different breed of people.
Okay.
Like I've watched interviews of Buffalo fans. They like it.
Are
Like
you
they're
been
like
to New England?
they're like
They love
Nordic Vikings.
They love
They
it.
love it.
They love it.
They like their cold weather in
They're
Boston.
great fans. They're great fans. I tell you, they are great
I know. I'm
fans.
sort of a Bills fan now.
Well, I had
There's a
more.
lot of cute guys on the team.
I had more friends on the Bills team than any other team in the NFL.
Same color scheme.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't turn on my TV without seeing Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Literally, every
Yeah.
commercial, every game, it's like Josh Allen is
Yeah,
always
he's
there.
a superstar.
Yeah.
He seems nice.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, he seems nice. A lot of nice guys out there.
Uh-huh.
Well, you're certainly one of them, and
Yeah.
I've enjoyed just our relationship. You're one of the
Yes.
nicest people I know. You're a class act.
Oh,
You're
thank
always
you, Mike.
accommodating. You've done a lot of things for me over the years. So fun to have you on the show, and
So
I
fun.
know that our listeners are going to love you as much as I do.
Hey, anytime, my friend. I've enjoyed it,
Mhm.
and I look forward to doing it again.
Thanks, Johnny.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
You're
Definitely.
welcome.
My first rodeo. My first rodeo. My first rodeo.
Well, that was a touchdown.
Oh my gosh! Thank goodness the show's ending soon because you're out of touchdown and football metaphors, aren't you?
I'll probably think of one more.
I'll cheer you on if you think you can come up with one.
Yes.
So
But that was awesome. Johnny, I could talk to him forever.
he's great. He's a cool guy. He's got a great voice. Doesn't he have a great voice?
Yes, he does.
Another guest with a great voice. We're doing well in that respect.
Mhm.
And yeah, he's had an exciting career. He's had an exciting post career. It's funny. He's played so long ago, but he gets like people follow him from wherever he lives, and they'll just write letters, actual letters,
Really?
or if they can find him on email and want autograph things, and they'll just send boxes of stuff. It's mostly autograph collectors that
Yeah.
are just trying to get like the whole team for a particular year so they can package it and sell it. And I think sometimes he'll actually sign them and send them back if they send a return envelope. Other times, if he thinks it's somebody just trying to make money, he probably keeps the football or the helmet or whatever it is they send them.
Yeah.
But
He should
yeah,
write a book.
he should write a book.
All of our guests should write books. Every
Oh,
time we have a guest, I'm like, man, you need to write a book.
Well, you would hope that we would only have guests that have something interesting enough to make it book worthy, right? If the day we have one where we're like, you really shouldn't write a book,
Yeah.
that probably wouldn't be good. But are you inspired?
He should write a playbook.
Ah, there you go. That's a
I
good
told
one.
you I'd get one more
That
before
was
we
really
closed.
good. Are you inspired to go learn more about football?
Yeah, I mean, next year I might. We should start our own fantasy football league.
What stats would we follow since you don't know like names of teams or?
I would just follow like the major key players.
Yeah.
I'd pick Mahomes. I'd
Uh-huh.
pick Kelsey. Maybe Josh Allen.
Yeah, I think a lot of them play the same position, so that would you'd have a really quarterback strong team. But yeah, you need some other players. I think maybe your
Uh-huh.
husband could help you there.
Yeah.
You could do like a prop bet league. That'd be kind of fun. You know what a prop bet is?
No.
That's where you like bet on things. I think it stands for proposition. And like when I went to one Super Bowl, the guy next to me was a gambling addict, and he was like on the phone with his bookie as the game was starting, like placing bets on whether the kicker would kick to the left or the right. What color shoes they'd be wearing. What shirt the kid would be wearing that comes to take the little thing that they put on the field so they kick the ball off of it.
Yeah.
You could bet on any arbitrary thing you want,
Wow.
and that'd be kind of fun. You could make up some good prop bets. You have any thoughts?
No.
None?
I think I'm gonna sit on the bench for this comment.
All right, good. That's a good one. I think you might tell more dad jokes than I do, so thank you for taking that title away from me. But look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah. Let's break.